Imagine a company promising to revolutionize healthcare with just a drop of blood. That was Theranos, once valued at billions and hailed as a tech marvel. Today, we're going to dig deep into its spectacular rise and dramatic fall. From its charismatic leadership to the scandal that toppled an empire, join us as we unravel how Theranos went from a Silicon Valley darling to a cautionary tale. Let's get started. Theranos began as a bold vision in the mind of a 19-year-old Stanford dropout, Elizabeth Holmes, who was driven by the idea of revolutionizing the medical industry through technology. In 2003, Holmes founded Theranos with a mission to democratize healthcare by making blood tests faster, cheaper, and more accessible. Her concept was to create a device that could run comprehensive tests using just a few drops of blood taken from a finger prick, rather than the more invasive venous draws. Holmes was influenced by her fear of needles, driving her vision of a world where fewer blood draws would mean less discomfort and anxiety for patients, and would potentially increase the frequency of health monitoring and early disease detection. The potential to streamline and transform blood testing resonated deeply, not just with patients, but also with investors. The company's name Theranos, a blend of therapy and diagnosis, reflected its comprehensive approach to healthcare. In the early days, Holmes managed to secure support from a host of high-profile investors. Her ability to articulate her vision, combined with her distinct, deep-voiced assertiveness, helped her form a board of directors studded with influential figures, including former secretaries of state and military generals. These early endorsements gave Theranos a sheen of credibility and allure that was almost irresistible. Holmes's pitch to investors was compelling. Theranos's technology could run over 200 tests with just a drop of blood. Costs would be slashed, and their innovative machine, named Edison after the famed inventor, could be deployed in people's homes or in pharmacies, making it incredibly accessible. This vision drew in nearly $700 million from investors, ballooning Theranos's valuation to an astounding $9 billion. At this peak, Holmes's stake in her company was worth billions, and she was celebrated as the youngest self-made female billionaire. In the background, however, the reality was starkly different. The Edison machines were fraught with technical problems. They could not consistently produce accurate or reliable results, which was a fundamental flaw for a medical device. Instead of being transparent about these limitations, Theranos, under Holmes's direction, engaged in secretive and deceptive practices. The technology was never openly peer-reviewed by the medical community, and employees who raised concerns were often dismissed or silenced. As Theranos began rolling out its technology to the public through partnerships with Walgreens and others, the cracks began to widen. The company's practices started to attract the attention of investigative journalists and regulatory agencies. In 2015, John Carreyrou of the Wall Street Journal published a series of explosive articles that questioned the efficacy of Theranos's technology and the integrity of its operations. These reports were based on conversations with former employees and an examination of the technology, revealing significant discrepancies between what Theranos claimed and what it could actually deliver. This scrutiny opened the floodgates to further investigations, and soon, federal regulatory bodies found major inaccuracies in the test results issued by Theranos. The company's secretive actions, the massive discrepancies in performance, and the potential risks to patient health sparked a massive public and media backlash. Holmes and Theranos began to crumble under the weight of lawsuits from investors, medical authorities, and private individuals. The dream that had once been Theranos turned into a cautionary tale about the dangers of hubris and the ethical responsibilities inherent in healthcare innovation. Holmes went from being a symbol of groundbreaking leadership in technology and business to a central figure in one of the most significant corporate deceits in recent history. The collapse of Theranos, once hailed as a beacon of innovation in the healthcare technology sector, is a gripping saga of ambition, deceit, and downfall. At its zenith, Theranos was valued at a staggering $10 billion, a testament to the mesmerizing narrative spun by its CEO, Elizabeth Holmes, and her right-hand man, Ramesh Balwani. Their tale of a groundbreaking blood testing device captivated investors and the public alike, promising to redefine diagnostics with just a few drops of blood. However, beneath the sheen of success, the reality of Theranos was drastically different. The company's much-touted technology, the Edison machines, were fundamentally flawed. Holmes and Balwani had publicly claimed these devices could conduct comprehensive tests rapidly and cheaply. Yet insiders and subsequent investigations revealed that the Edison could perform only a fraction of the promised tests, and even those were riddled with inaccuracies. This disconnect between Theranos's public persona and its actual capabilities began to surface prominently in 2015, following a series of investigative reports by the Wall Street Journal. The newspaper, through interviews with former employees, unveiled a culture of secrecy and fear, where dissent was stifled and the truth was cloaked in layers of deception. It was revealed that a majority of the tests were not performed on the Edison machines, but on standard equipment manufactured by others, a stark contradiction to what was publicly advertised. The technological shortcomings were just the tip of the iceberg. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, and Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMS, intervened with their own investigations, exposing a litany of regulatory breaches. These included the use of uncleared medical devices, mishandling of patient complaints, and inadequate quality audits. In one striking instance, CMS flagged a Theranos lab in California as a threat to patient health and safety, delivering a damning assessment of Theranos's operations. As federal scrutiny tightened, the facade began to crumble. By early 2016, Theranos found itself battling a myriad of legal challenges, including charges of massive fraud by the Securities and Exchange Commission. The SEC's complaint detailed how Holmes and Balwani had orchestrated a scheme to exaggerate the company's health and technology to lure investors, amassing more than $700 million through sheer fabrication. The legal repercussions were swift and severe. Both Holmes and Balwani were charged with numerous counts of fraud, leading to high-profile trials where they were found guilty of deceiving investors and, in Balwani's case, also defrauding patients. Holmes was handed an 11-year sentence, while Balwani received almost 13 years, a stark downfall for the duo who once commanded the respect and admiration of Silicon Valley. In the financial aftermath, Walgreens, one of Theranos's major partners, faced its own set of challenges, having invested around $140 million into rolling out Theranos wellness centers. The partnership was intended to revolutionize in-store health services, but instead left Walgreens grappling with the fallout of Theranos's misrepresented capabilities. The final chapter of Theranos is one of dissolution and lessons learned the hard way. After ceasing operations in September 2018, Theranos became a byword for the pitfalls of overambition. The company, once a dazzling star in the healthcare tech universe, systematically shut down its labs and wellness centers, leaving behind a legacy marred by controversy and legal battles. Elizabeth Holmes, the face of Theranos, saw her fabricated empire crumble, leading to significant personal and financial consequences. Once celebrated as a billionaire innovator, her fall from grace was swift and public. Convicted on charges of fraud, Holmes faced the harsh reality of her actions. She received a prison sentence that depicted the gravity of her misdeeds. The legal repercussions extended to her partner, Ramesh Balwani, who was also convicted and sentenced, highlighting the deep-seated deceit within Theranos' leadership. The Theranos scandal served as a big shock to Silicon Valley, prompting a re-evaluation of the oversight and governance of tech startups. Investors, once eager to back seemingly revolutionary ideas with substantial capital, became more cautious. This emphasized the need for transparency and verifiable results. The story of Theranos also spurred discussions in the regulatory realm, with authorities tightening scrutiny to prevent similar occurrences. This has led to more rigorous processes for validating medical technology, ensuring that companies deliver on their promises and protect patient safety. In terms of cultural impact, the story of Theranos has been immortalized in documentaries, books, and discussions, serving as a stark reminder of the dangers of fake it till you make it in the field of medical technology. The broader lesson for the tech industry is clear. Innovation cannot come at the cost of integrity and must be grounded in reality and ethical practice. As Theranos' story is dissected and analyzed, it continues to serve as a cautionary tale for startups and investors alike. It underscores the paramount importance of ethical entrepreneurship and the responsibilities leaders hold not just to their investors, but to the consumers and the broader public whose lives are impacted by their technologies. This saga, though a dark chapter in the archives of Silicon Valley, reinforces the critical need for a balance between ambition and ethical constraints, reminding the tech world that true innovation requires not just ingenuity and vision, but a steadfast commitment to truth and responsibility. As we wrap up the story of Theranos, we're reminded of the thin line between groundbreaking innovation and ethical responsibility. This saga serves as a cautionary tale for all future pioneers. Thanks for tuning in. If this story intrigued you, hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. What lessons should innovators take from the rise and fall of Theranos? Keep the conversation going, and until next time, stay curious.